This is the story of the time that I was face to face with a reptilian shapeshifter. I know this is gonna sound insane, but I don't give a shit. I saw what I saw. When I was in college, I was working at this smoke shop. Each person had their set of keys. Night person would close up shop. That day, I was working the night shift. If you've ever been in a smoke shop, you know that there's some interesting characters that walk in, especially at night. Probably like 9 or 10 p.m. and the shop closes at 11. Like, I'm almost done for the night and this woman walks in. She's the only other person in the store. She just seems like very off. She seems like maybe she's on something. Whatever, I'm trying to help her so she can get out of there. But she gets really close to my face. And in that moment, when she got close to me, it was like I could see through her. The only way that I can describe it is like, imagine if I had like another skin, but like 3 inches outside of myself, that I was like wearing this costume. And when I saw on the inside suit, I saw like sharp teeth, glowing eyes with like slits for pupils. And I had like a visible, visceral response in my body. Like, oh, I'm still getting goosebumps. So I think that she noticed this, and then she started acting like normal. Suddenly she was not acting like she was on anything anymore. It was very fucking weird. And she ended up leaving. And that's all I remember. And the weird thing about this is like, yeah, this story was almost 10 years ago. Even right after it happened, I barely remembered what happened besides for that. But what made me think about this story was this picture was going around on Threads yesterday, and I was like, hell no, what the fuck is that? Please, I'm so scared. People are saying that this is a person wearing their hoodie backwards, and that this is their ear, and that that's an earphone, and that the rest of this is their hair. But like, I swear to God, I'm not even joking. I was staring at this for like 10 minutes and I could not see what everybody else was seeing. I'm like, where? In what world does somebody's ear look like that? And what kind of headphone is that? But it immediately made me think of Tiffany the Plain Lady, because why is there still so many unanswered questions around her? How do we, in the era of phones and social media and the internet, only have this video? There is not one single confirmed passenger that can say, yeah, I was on that plane. I don't know what she saw, but she saw something. Like, I believed her from the very beginning. Like, nothing about her reaction seemed fake to me or drunk. This woman is obviously in real distress. And if I saw this and I was on her plane, I would have been getting off too. Weird part about Plain Lady is the fact that every one of these passengers was fucking silent. Even her apology, where she's like shaking her head no while she's confirming something, like, that is cognitive dissonance within our body. You can try to lie, but your body language will seldom keep up with the lie. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you have any experiences of seeing somebody who's not real?
I'm gonna tell you about a couple experiences I've had with shapeshifters. My encounters were definitely negative, and I believe that it did have to do with a demonic presence. A shapeshifter is an entity that's able to manipulate the energy around them and turn into different things. I wasn't sure if I believed in them until I had a really creepy encounter at my sister's house. She used to live in this condo that was super haunted. She had episodes of sleep paralysis and would see things constantly. I was sleeping on her couch one night and I looked in the corner. I saw this little black blob moving on the floor, then turned into a small child. It looked like it was kind of like a shadow, and then it formed into this woman that just didn't look right. She had super long black hair and started crawling underneath a coffee table. I then told my sister about this experience and her face turned white. She then told me that every morning when she was leaving for work, she got this image of a lady with long hair crawling and chasing her out the door. She thought it was just her mind playing tricks on her until I told her about my experience. Another time is when my friends and I went to the super haunted escape room. They had a lot of documented poltergeist type activity and encountered something that they called a trickster spirit that they all nicknamed Trixie. Instantly, I saw this weird shadow person sitting on top of this prop RV that they had. It was sitting like this. At first, I wasn't sure exactly what it was. It was either a poltergeist, some demonic entity, or a shapeshifter. We then experienced it shape-shifting, turning into different people. It would be a woman, and then it would be a child, and then it would be a man. And I didn't know this, but when my friend first walked in, her device said shapeshifter. I didn't realize how powerful these entities were until this experience. And this thing likes to play games. The full video of this experience is on my channel, link in bio.
So, I just got off the phone with a very interesting FaceTime call from my friend who went to Vegas yesterday. And he had actually called me at 1 o'clock in the morning, but our bitch was knocked out because I live in Florida. He proceeds to tell me how him and his partner had went to Vegas and they were in a cab or a Uber or one of those things. They were, I guess, driving back to the hotel room or something when the person that was driving the car, cab driver, was talking to them and they could see the person through the rearview mirror. From my understanding, the person was talking in a manner that made them question the person's age, right? So my friend was like, how old are you, right? Because the conversation, it just felt to them like off. And it was funny because they were talking about how Vegas is very fucking weird and there'd be weird shit happening over there and so on and so forth. He said that the person then turns around. Mind you, they thought that this person was 18, 19, 20, max 21, 22. They both saw this person through the mirror, the rearview mirror. And when the person turned around to give their age, I think he said that the person who said that they were 50 years old, they freaked out because it was an old person. They looked at each other. My friend immediately said, stop the fucking car right fucking now. I want out of this car. I'm cracking up because I know he was fucking scared. He was like, no, Ginger, no. That shit was fucking scary. It was like some weird ass hocus pocus shit had happened. Like a shape shifting situation. That bitch was young as hell in the mirror. And all of a sudden she says, I'm 50. No, fuck out of here. Mind you, his partner, Brian, is not in one of those things. And he was saying, no, seriously, I saw it too. I saw the person change. No. And we were like, we need to get the fuck out this car. So I'm just curious, has anybody out there had like a shapeshifter?
You want to hear something crazy? I'm pretty sure a while ago I ran into a family of shapeshifters. Not too far away from my house, there's this little bitty bridge, and when my kids were tiny, they used to like to ride the bikes there because they could watch the fiddler crabs and the fish. Okay, so we're looking at all these little critters in the water. It's about dusk time. Everyone in Florida knows that around dusk, the no-see-ums start to come out. If you don't have no-see-ums where you live, congratulations. But every day, we know no-see-ums are coming out unless it's winter. And no-see-ums are teeny tiny little bugs that are about the size of a grain of sand. You have to look really close to see it, and they bite the crap out of you, and they get in your hair. It's bad. It's just bad. Anyway, it's about dusk time, so we start to head out, and this family of 4 come out, and everything about them was bizarre. They were all comically perfect. The mama, if this was even the mama, I do not believe they were a family at all. When I'm with a group of people, I can usually feel the affection and camaraderie and the relationships, right? So like if you got 2 dudes hanging together, I can feel that you guys are like bros and you guys have like philos love. I can feel the brotherly love. The way they spoke was bizarre. And mostly what stuck out to me was how perfect they were. They were just like stepped out of a Kohl's catalog perfect. I could not feel any affections between the husband and wife. The way the young lady talked about her baby, she was like, our son, our child. It just wasn't normal. It's like how I picture Prince Henry to address his child. It's just super mega ultra proper, like super proper English. But they didn't have any accent. That was another thing. So they were all comically perfect. If the husband and wife were married, the extra guy, he didn't feel like a buddy or a brother. It felt more like he was a guard or a guardian or like a chauffeur, like someone who comes to make sure that like your mission is complete. The whole thing was just so bizarre, and everything in me wanted to just get the F away from them. Like everything, I just wanted to leave. Looked over at my kids because they're pretty good with feeling energies too, and I could tell that they were off, and I was like, come on kids, let's go. As fast as I could, I hauled it away. My former husband is super, super social, so he stayed. He was like a moth to the flame, like talking to these people and saying that, oh, the no-see-ums are coming out, we're gonna go, because I just left. And they're like, no-see-ums? What are no-see-ums? And he's like, you don't know what no-see-ums are, they're those little bugs, they bite you. They're like, how peculiar, we've never heard of such things. It's like, okay, like if you're new, even if you're from like New England or freaking Martha's Vineyard, like where the F ever, like I feel like you just don't speak like this. So the kids and I leave. We're far away, right? We're to a place where like I feel safe. So I stopped and I turned back around, and all of them, like all the adults, were like just staring at me, and in my head I'm like, I know that they know that I know that they're not freaking from here. So I'm convinced they were like evil shape-shifting aliens who took on this like perfect family form. It's creepy.
Our girl story time on here, and it just validated my whole experience because she said this happens a lot in Illinois. So I'm from Chicago, the east side, and around the time that this happened, I was like 16. I remember just getting my license, and I was so excited because I finally got a taste of freedom. I could do whatever I want. I can go wherever I want, and I was so excited. But my mom gave me an 11:30 curfew, so I was like the type of person who would like wait until the very last minute to leave wherever I was at to try to get home on time at 11:30. So I was just leaving my friend's house, and I was almost home, y'all. Like I was like right around the corner from my house. So if you guys are familiar with Chicago, you might know where CVS High School is. So I was like on 87th, I was right by CVS, and then I remember turning left, right? And I turned left, and I was driving straight, and it was like I said, it was like around 11:30, so it was dark outside, and I looked and I saw a humongous animal. Like it was, I don't know if it was a panther or a tiger. It definitely wasn't a tiger. It was like a big, huge animal. And when I say like I almost shit my pants, like I was like I froze in the car, and I was at a stop sign when I looked over and I saw it, and he was just walking, and when I stopped, it looked at me, and like we locked eyes, and then I just kept driving. I was like, oh my God, like I had to get home because I need to make my curfew or I was gonna get beat up and I was gonna get in trouble. So I was like, let me just try to get home and forget about that, right? And I was like, I'm gonna like tell my mom when I get home, right? So I got home, my mom was livid because I missed curfew, and I didn't even end up telling her. I remember telling my friends the next day, and nobody believed me. So I remember like looking up, did an animal escape from the zoo? I found nothing on that. And like I said, like I lived in the city, so it wasn't normal for us to see like huge ginormous panthers or whatever the case may be, whatever animal that was. It wasn't normal to see stuff like that at all. And I don't know, like to this day I always think like, what was that? Like it was so strange. Like it was such a strange looking animal, like something an animal I've never seen before, an animal I don't even know if it exists. So yeah, y'all, like very, very weird experience.
Okay, I don't know why, but for some reason today I want to talk about demon face and shape-shifting. So I remember a couple years back I saw this video, I cannot find it now, but there was this girl, she was talking about how she was in college, she had just started making friends and things like that, and she was gonna go home for the winter break, and she was gonna catch a ride with one of her new friends. So they stopped by the gas station on the way out, and she's on the passenger side, and she's watching her friend pump gas through the side mirror, and all of a sudden the friend's face just completely shifted into something, like she said, so evil looking, so demonic looking, and it was just like a flash, like it was just for a second, and she was like, am I crazy? Like what in the world just happened? She knew what she saw. So she ended up telling the friend like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling well, can you just take me back to the dorms, I'm not gonna go home. And she, I don't know, maybe she ended up catching a ride with somebody else, or I don't know, but she did not want to go with this person. She didn't want to take the drive with them because of what she saw. And the comments went crazy because everybody had their own story to tell. Everybody was like basically saying the same thing. Like normally I wouldn't say this to anyone because it sounds crazy, but just the level of support here on TikTok is top tier. But anyways, I wanted to share with you guys my own story. I don't know why I'm talking about this or why I wanted to share this today, but let me get into my story time. So many years ago, I was dating this guy, and I remember praying. I was like, you know, Lord, just please show me the contents of this man's heart, show me the intentions, show me who he really is. And oh my gosh, he did. Because I remember one night we were hanging out, and we were literally like on opposite sides of the room, and so he's over here, I'm over here, and when I look over at him, like, I promise you, and I thought I was crazy, so that's why I literally never said anything to anybody. But because I'm a journaler, because I write everything down, I wrote this incident down, so I know that I'm remembering it correctly. So I look over at him, and his face, like, it's almost like
horns grew from the top of his head. Even his face had turned like a shade of red. Like it was just like this tint to it. It was almost like he was glowing. And no, I wasn't drinking. No, I wasn't doing any drugs. I was just in my normal natural state. I might have been a little bit tired, but I know what I saw. This man's face just shifted into something so evil and dark and twisted, and it was literally, I didn't have a name to put to it, but I know people call it demon face syndrome. People have different names for it, but back then I just thought like I was crazy. I just literally thought that it was me. Like I thought I was crazy, and I thought maybe like, dang, I must have been tired. But when I heard this girl's story on TikTok, and when I saw so many other people saying that they've seen and experienced similar things, it made me think back to that moment. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've experienced this too. Because I wrote this down, I think I was able to go back and realize this was a mistake, and it was definitely a red flag. It was definitely God answered my prayers of showing me the intentions behind this person and to show me who this person really is. Because when I saw that, looking back, it all makes sense why I saw that, because of who I know this person to be to this day. So I'm like, okay, this is real. This is a real thing, and I feel like it's even heightened more now today, because I see so many stories like this. People saying like, you know, look at the girl on the plane. Like she said she saw something that was just like a person that was not real, and just, you know, other people saying they've seen things in the grocery store. People would just look at them and then their eyes would go all black, or the face would shift. And so it's not just me, it's not just her, it's not just, you know, certain people. Like the veil is lifting, and if you don't know by now, we live in a spiritual world, so everything is spiritual, and I think that the veil is being lifted. If you see something, if somebody literally shows you their true colors, believe them, believe it. You're not crazy. And if you guys, like I said, if you have any stories of your own, I would love to hear them. So put them in the comments, tag, share. My phone keeps falling, but anyways, hope you guys stay safe, stay blessed. Like I said, keep your eyes and ears open, and yeah, just share some of your stories with me in the comments, because I would love to hear them.
True story. You guys ready for this one? So it was, I think, the end of July, maybe. I was out here. It was in August. There was nobody here. It was super late. And I'll just show you the long walk. It goes down there a long ways. So it was super late. And I was about ready to call it, you know, for the night. I had like maybe 40 minutes left. So it was like 3:30 in the morning, you know, head spin an hour. So I could make out a shadow about, hang on, right in here. And it looked like a dog. And the dog was running towards me. And of course, the immediate response of that is, oh my God, there's a dog out here without a leash, like on this like narrow path, like, oh my God. And so I waited way down there, and I was like, okay, well, it's running towards me. So I don't know whose dog this is. There's nobody out here. It was a black dog, fairly large. It was like hauling ass towards me. And I was like, oh, you okay, puppy? Blah. Then this dog that's right behind me, that dog turned the corner, looked at me dead in the eyes. I was about maybe, I don't know, 50 to 75 feet away from it. It turned the corner onto that dog right there. And then I saw a man stand up and walk. It was a Persian man. I went down, I say that for a reason. I went down there and I was like every horror film, you know, like, I need to check it out. I've seen some things in my life, you know, so it takes a lot, right, to really get me. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm gonna look. I looked all the way down that dock. I did not see the dog. I did not see the man. Gets better. So every night you have to file a report. So I was filing my report. Anyway, I didn't mention anything because what'd he say? The next morning I get an email. Hey, did you notice anything strange over on L Dock? Did you guys? Yeah. They saw it on the cameras too. Still trying to get that footage.
This person said that something morphed into himself right in front of him and then was antagonizing him. So we're gonna call tonight's submitter Victor. So when Victor was younger, his parents went away for the weekend and his older brother was supposed to be watching him. But Victor's brother decides that he's gonna go leave and sleep at a friend's house. But Victor doesn't realize this until it's already dark outside. So he said that his house is kind of small, but it has like a weird layout. So from his bedroom, he could see down the hallway and into the bathroom mirror. During the day, this mirror reflects the wall. At night, it reflects darkness. So Victor is up in his room and he starts hearing his brother walking around downstairs. He remembers feeling annoyed because his brother had come back without telling him, and then he hears the fridge door open and cabinets shut, just kind of normal sounds, and then he hears his brother walk up the stairs. Victor then calls his name and is just like, hey bro, why are you back? His brother then answers him from the hallway, but there's something weird about his voice and he can't quite put his finger on it. He said it wasn't distorted or anything, it was just too calm, like he was copying how he would feel if he were tired. So Victor's like, that's kind of weird of him, so he walks over to the door and he opens up the door to go greet his brother. He looks out into the hallway empty. Victor freezes. He said that he still had his hand on the door and that his heart was pounding so hard that he felt dizzy. He said that then his brother's voice speaks again, except for it's closer this time, like it is right in front of him. And what he said was, Victor? And he said that he said it quietly, almost like in a voice that his brother would use if he didn't want to scare him. Victor slams the door shut and locks it. This is when it gets even worse. This thing starts talking more. First, it used his brother's voice, then his mom's, then his dad's, and then it started switching between them super fast, almost like it was trying to see which voice would work. At this point, Victor just slides his back down his door and he just covers his ears. But it didn't matter because the voices sounded like they were inside of his head, not coming from the other side of the door. This part is the worst. It then stops using his family's voices and it starts to use his. At first, it sounded like recordings, slightly off, but each time it spoke, it got closer sounding. He then hears his voice clearly say, you can open the door. He said that this literally almost broke him. And then he just starts yelling, this is not real. You are not allowed here. This is not real. He said he is not even sure why he spoke those words. He just felt like they were important because he had never experienced anything like this before. He knows nothing about this type of thing. After he says it though, there's a long pause. Then the voice replies very calmly, I am allowed if I am you. This is when he notices the mirror. From the crack underneath the door, you could see the reflection in the hallway and something had stepped into view. It was standing where a mirror would show a person if something were actually there. He said it was just like wrong. It was shaped like him, but it just didn't look finished. Proportions were slightly off. The arms were super long and its head was cocked to the side. Almost like it was studying itself, but its face kept shifting, almost like it didn't know what version of Victor to wear. And its smile. It was smiling, but not in a happy way, in a focused way. Then he heard his voice again, except for this time, he saw its mouth move in the mirror. It said, this is better when you're quiet. He said at this point, he just starts praying out loud. He did not care how he sounded. His voice was shaking so badly, it didn't even sound like words. Then the thing in the mirror stops smiling, and it takes one step closer to his door. And then another. He said that each step was careful and controlled, almost like it was practicing how to walk. As he prayed louder, the reflection started to blur, like it couldn't hold its shape anymore. His face then twitched, and then for a second, it looked nothing like him at all. Then the lights in the hallway flickered, and then the mirror empty again. He did not sleep that night. When his parents came back the next morning, everything looked normal. No marks, no sign anyone had been there. But the mirror at the end of the hallway had a handprint on it. Not dusty, not oily, just slightly fogged, like someone had pressed their hand on it while breathing really close. They cleaned the mirror, and after that, the voices never came back again. But he says sometimes at night when he's looking in the mirror, he feels like he's checking to see if he is there first. And he never speaks to himself out loud anymore because he's afraid that something is there listening, waiting to remember how he sounds. So what did you guys think of that story? Oh, I don't even know what to say about that because so freaking creepy. I've never heard anything like that before. I do want to mention that he did say that the whole reason he found me is because he was actually looking up these types of experiences online to see like if anyone else had had a similar experience, and he found me that way, probably from one of my doppelganger stories, I'm assuming. But so he had never experienced anything like this before in his life, and this has stuck with him. That's how terrifying it was for him. He also said that he thinks about this almost every single night. That's how much it scared him. I think one thing for sure and two things for certain is that this thing was not good. Not good. Because a couple different things. Number one, when he started praying, it started to morph and it started to go away, right? And two, nothing is going to mimic all of your family members and try to scare you that way if they are good. What do you guys think this was? Because I am at a loss for this. I don't know. I know a lot of you might think that it is, I can't say the word, starts with M, but that it's that, but normally you can't see their faces, right? Am I not right about that? That's what I've always thought, is that they don't have a face normally. And this did. I can't imagine seeing myself. That's like the story that I told about my cousin, who she saw herself sitting at the end of her bed. That is just as scary. Drop all your thoughts, opinions, and suggestions in the comment section, but as always, please be respectful. And with that being said, I'm now going to do my favorite part, which is the shout-outs. Assad Mohsin 96, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you so much for being here, number one, and thank you so much for the comment that you left. That was such a nice comment, honestly. I have some of the best people who follow me, and I have another one now, and I am so happy that you were here because the comment that you left made me smile so big. It was so nice. It was so genuine. It was so supportive. And I love comments like that because when I'm having a bad day and I see a comment like that, it just makes me smile. And it was a long comment, and I love long comments because they're genuine, number one, and because also they push out my videos. And I know a lot of people know that and do it on purpose. And I just think it's so nice. And I just really appreciate every single thing that you said in that comment that you left. So thank you so much for being here. And I say this to all my spooky babies because I do. I love you. Taj_DJJ. Thank you so much for what you said. I love that you scroll every single night and that you can't stop until you see one of my stories. That means so much to me. Thank you so much. I have some of my storytellers that I really like too, and I cannot go to sleep until I hear them either. So to be that for someone else, like I always say, is so special to me, and it's so exciting and humbling, and I just love it so much. It's so exciting to be where I'm at right now and have people actually enjoy my stories enough to do something like that. Like it's exciting to me, and I love it, and it makes me so happy. So thank you so much for telling me that, and I love you. And with that being said, my name is Kaisa, and I tell your paranormal experiences on here or ones that you recommend to me every single night. So if you're into that, hit that follow button, and I just need you to do 3 things for me. And what are those? Keep sending me your scary stories, have a safe night, and what's the third one? Say it with me. Have a spooky night. Love you so much, my spooky babies. I'll see you in the next one. Spooky kisses and haunted hugs.
So I posted a story earlier about a guy who claims to have met someone he wasn't sure was all the way human. And I've got another story for you, just like that. So this guy named Gillian tells a story from when he was a teenager working at a grocery store as a checkout clerk. It was close to closing time, and there was a bit of a rush of people because everyone was trying to grab their things before they headed home after work. He said a man that appeared to be in his late 20s was next in line, and when he approached the counter, he said his usual greeting. At first, when he was greeting him, he wasn't quite making eye contact yet because he said he was restocking some bags at the counter. Gillian said that once he stood up and actually made eye contact with this guy, his blood ran cold. He said he didn't look much different from the other people in the shop. He was just wearing a plain t-shirt and cargo pants, but something about his eyes. He said they were the crispest blue and gray eyes he'd ever seen, but that wasn't even the part that got him. He said there was a flash of something else in his eyes. He said it felt like this man was looking into his soul, but not in a good way. He said he didn't blink at all. He just had this cold, dead stare. He also said that one of the creepiest things was he didn't reply to any of the questions that he asked this guy. Questions like, how is your day going? Or paper or plastic? Or cash or credit? And this guy just stared. And then get this. When this guy handed him the money, his finger brushed up against his hand and it physically burned him. Gillian said that this guy seemed to know that his touch burnt him. And the creepiest part of all, he just gave him a little smirk and then he blinked, but not with his eyelids. He said there was like another layer of eyelids that blinked sideways, like a reptile's. And with that, the guy just turns and leaves. And Gillian said that his hand burned for hours after that transaction. He also said that warts popped up in the area that he had the burn from his touch. Oh my God, I don't even know how I would react in that moment, or like how I would react after the warts popped up. You gotta let me know what you think in the comments and follow for more creepy story time.
Story time. Check this shit out. One time, I was going to the hospital to go visit somebody, right? And it was real late. It was like 9:30 at night. Now, mind you, visiting stopped at 10 o'clock. So I raced up there and shit. I was trying to bring him something to eat, matter of fact. And I get in the parking lot. When I pull in, ain't nobody in the front of nothing. So, you know, I'm from the trenches. I'm watching everything following me in. It's late night, everything, right? Nobody was behind me. Now, I'm a G. I know nobody was behind me. I pull in to the parking lot, like the garage. Pay for the little shit. They let the thing up. I pull in. They got the little handicap spots and shit. So I park in the handicap spot. When I park in the handicap spot, before I can even like adjust shit, I see somebody pull up to the little gate to come in. I'm like, who the fuck? It look like some old beat up ass van. You know them vans they be talking about being in Virginia, snatching folks up? One of them. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. The dude that I'm gonna drop his picture on here and show y'all who the fuck it was. This the same dude up in Virginia. Now this where the story get hella creepy at. He yank up when he pull up. He like the van shook and shit. He damn near ran over the thing that go up. And he pull in. And when he pull in all drunk and shit like he was. You feel me? And he like pulled in like about 5 stalls down from me. I'm like, damn, who the hell is this? Now it's just me and him in a garage. I'm like, okay, this some creepy shit right here. Who is this? You know, you gotta you gotta keep your head on your swivel around this thing. So I ain't get out the car at all. I'm looking like, shit, who is this? So I seen them get out their van. And all I see is the feet from a distance. I'm sitting like this and they sitting way down there. So I can see his feet at the bottom. And when he bounced out, he like walked halfway to the back and then he stopped. And he just stopped. And I'm looking at his feet like, damn, this motherfucker ain't moving. So now I'm skeptical. I'm like, shit, this shit look hella suspect. It's late too. So long story short, I sat there for a couple minutes and all I see is the feet just kept on moving back and forth around the van. On the other side, he hiding, he peeking through the window and shit. I'm like, this motherfucker plotting on me. Who is this? So I throw my shit in reverse. I'm like, shit, I'm finna get up out of here. So I bag up. After a while though, I just sat there. I'm like, this motherfucker trying to. But before I pull off, I see hella security guards from the hospital running around the parking lots and shit. They was like surrounding the whole garage and shit. So I'm like, what the fuck is they doing? Because I ain't see nothing going on. And so I pull off, I bag up and I pull out. Now his shit sitting right here and I pull up on him and I stop and I hit the window. I'm like, hey homie, you good? He like, yeah. But he ain't say shit. Guess what he did? He just looked at me and he was like some crazy ass language or some shit. But the cold part about it, his face looked like a goddamn demon or some shit. He looked like a skinwalker / goddamn reptilian. Yeah, he was buff all in the neck and shit. His shit was hella swole. But he looked old like some kind of motherfucker from the Caribbean or some shit. I don't know who the fuck. I'm gonna show y'all this picture though. This the same motherfucker I've been seeing up in Virginia. With them ice cream situations, ice cream truck situations going on. Now y'all drop a comment below.
For some odd reason, the audio just cut out. But if you know, you know. But I can't even find this picture. But I'm gonna tell you one thing for sure. He looked it just like this motherfucker. This video was made for entertainment only. But if you know, you know.
I wanted to share this story about this Wedico demon that I recently encountered and had a very powerful telepathic connection with him. I have encountered these types and many other types of entities and demons throughout the world. Sometimes when I travel into different regions, I see different types because I think that certain groups of them tend to kind of in general stay in certain regions, but they get spread out and mixed around too. And in this case, this Wedico demon actually would have normally been very prevalent in other parts of the world. But I encountered him in southern Utah when I was visiting there. And I began to have a telepathic connection with him where I knew I could see he was a shapeshifter. So he was in a human body, and but he looked almost identical to this in his spirit body. So he was shapeshifting. And I began to have a telepathic connection to him, but he knew that I could see who he really was. And he stood and froze at first. I was pumping gas in my car, and he was just standing over on the side, like not doing anything, not walking down the sidewalk, nothing. He was just standing there staring at me because he knew that I knew who he was. And he was kind of trying to peacock to me and threaten me through telepathy, but he knew that I was more powerful than him. And at the same time, it was like he was frozen, but he was also trying to intimidate me too. And then we had a little telepathic conversation about why he was there in southern Utah, because it wasn't even a place that normally these types of entities would be, at least this particular kind. There's other ones in southern Utah, but this particular type of Wedico comes from a totally different region on the other side of the world. And so it was very interesting. And also I knew and I could see that he was there for very nefarious reasons. And again, first he tried to freeze and tried to kind of like penetrate me through telepathy, but then he tried to block me in telepathy because he knew that I could see everything that he was doing. And then he froze because he didn't know what to do. It was the weirdest exchange, because sometimes when I encounter entities, it just depends on the type of entity and what I'm dealing with there. But sometimes they can be really aggressive. Sometimes they can just be real kind of weak little gray aliens, or weak in general. You can kind of, if you know what you're doing as a medium, it's easy to eliminate them, sort of. But in this case, this particular one, he was partially trying to intimidate me and partially intimidated by me at the same time. And again, he stood there the whole time that I put gas in my car. It's like he just stopped and stared at me the whole entire time and tried to have this telepathic thing with me, where he was partially trying to block certain things from me, and then trying to push his way through, and then trying not to tell me certain things when I was having the conversation with him. And I was talking to him, and I was telling him that he didn't belong in that region. Like, what was he there for? Because I have a lot of family members that live in that region, and I know that he was there. And by the way, I did a remote viewing, I think a year ago, where I mentioned certain cells that were going to get put all over the world. If you don't remember that video, go back and watch it, about the spider people. And I've done a lot of videos on the spider people, but I did one in specific talking about what they were planning to do this year. There's some predictions about what they were going to do this year that have already been unfolding. And this Wedico is working for that agenda also. So I just wanted to share it forward and let you know that you have to really be careful about energies of people that you meet, because you don't always understand what's going on behind the flesh of that person. And so anyway, this happened recently. It was a real intense moment, and the being looked almost identical to this picture. So anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
This is the third time I've tried to record this video. Obviously, something is trying to stop me from it. But you know what? I'm going to tell you anyways, because I had a really crazy dream this morning. It was very off the wall. And normally I have pretty crazy dreams, but usually there's a break in between. But this was a progression of one after another after another. Now, I don't know if it's because of the full moon energies are still in effect, and it's in a combination with the rising frequency of the earth, but a lot of strange dreams have been occurring, and normally I get a break in between, but this is just one after another after another. And I'm talking about dreams of aliens and time traveling and universal codes and all of these strange phenomena. But something is stopping me. Maybe it's TikTok. I don't know. Something is stopping me from trying to tell you this dream, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So for those of you who aren't into aliens and strange phenomenon and conspiracies and giants and all of the weird woo-woo stuff, keep scrolling because this video is not for you. But for those of you who do like cool stories and dive deep into the rabbit hole of weirdness that is our existence, stick around. You're going to like this story. So I was in a cavern underground with a group of people. I don't know who these people were. I've never seen them before in my life, and I can't place them in my waking life, but I don't know if they were archaeologists, if they were scientists, or who they were, but we were all in this underground cavern, and everything, the floor, the walls, everything was this tan colored stone. Now, we were on a platform, and across the platform, there was this deep cavern that went super far down, and there was only one flat bridge pathway that was pretty short, but it was long enough that we couldn't jump over. We had to walk across this cavern, and then there was an archway opening up into where you would just keep going straight and you would hit another tan wall. You have to turn right to go into the, I don't know, wherever this place goes. But if you look on the right-hand side of the bridge and first entryway of the cavern, there was across the cavern a archway window. And again, there was a section you could see that allowed you to go left, but you couldn't go straight because it would just go straight into another tan wall. Now, there was some sort of weird technology in this room. I can't even explain it, but it's not the technology that we know. It's not wires, it's not computers, chips, all of the things that we have, radios, like phones, none of that. It just looked like stones. It was really weird, but there was an invisible type of force field blocking the arch window and blocking the entry of the doorway, the arch doorway. And whoever in the group was responsible and knowledgeable for this type of ancient technology went over and shut off the force field. And we could hear the force field come down. It made this like whoop whoop sound or something, and it came down. But as soon as that force field came down, in that window on the right side of the cavern, this strange, I don't even know what to call it. I've never seen anything like this before anywhere. It was this very tall, huge being that looked like a cross between some sort of a reptilian, some sort of an alien, some sort of an octopus. But it was huge, and it had this like grayish, stonish, reptilian, dry looking skin, and it wasn't wearing any clothes. It was just the wholeness of it. It had very big, dark black eyes. I didn't notice any nose on it, and then it looked at us. It came straight at the window and knew immediately when the force field went down, looked straight at us from this window, and then went right and then appeared in the doorway of across the bridge from us and just stared at us. And the way that it moved, it was on two very long arms that kind of like dragged its body because it had a head, a very large torso, and then it was dragging what I would imagine would be its legs across the ground, but its legs were dragging behind it, kind of like they were dry octopus legs or something. It was really weird. Like I said, I've never seen any creature like this in any type of alien story or pictures online that people post of like reptilians and greys and those types of aliens. I've never seen anything like this being before. And it stood there and stared at us. And I was like, what the hell is this? And then I woke up thinking, what the hell was that? It was so weird. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, and this is really stupid, I tried to draw a little sketch of it, but I sketched this out in like 2 seconds and it's nothing. So if anybody knows what this looks like, okay, I had to rip it out because it was on a page with notes. So like I said, don't laugh at my artwork. I mean, you can. I sketched this out in like 1-2 minutes, but I'm going to try to draw a better image of it later on, but it looks something like this. I know that's so weird, but it was just so odd. This actually goes pretty far. And when I say huge, this thing was gigantic. Like, I want to say it was over 12 feet high just from the torso up. But do you know what the hell this is? Have you had any dreams lately with this strange energy of the full moon and of the ramping up of this frequency that we're all experiencing? Have you had dreams of aliens and reptilians and other beings that you can't place? Or maybe you do. Maybe you can place them. Maybe you know what this is. Maybe you've had a similar dream with the same type of creatures. What the hell is going on? But let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, save it out so you can come back, because if you do have a dream with this same being in it, I want to know about it. So like this video, comment and tell me what you know about this, or if you've had a dream that has been very strange, even if it doesn't include aliens lately. I want to know who else, because I've been talking to a handful of people. This isn't just a me phenomenon. A lot of people are experiencing these very strange dreams lately, and this ramp up of very odd phenomenon happening. And don't forget to follow if you aren't already, so that we can stay connected and learn some more cool shit together.
Everything I say is for educational purposes only, strictly entertainment. Everything is 100% alleged. The only thing I ask is that you engage with the video so more people can see it before it gets removed. I'm a researcher that has built a career debunking paranormal claims, so imagine my surprise when I felt like I was being watched in an underground cave system. I turned around and to my surprise, I was being watched. She was 5'5" with vertical pupils, large eyes. Every time she blinked, a transparent membrane went across her eyes, and she also was pale green with brown spots on her skin. She told me that she wasn't going to tell me her name because no matter how hard I tried, I wouldn't be able to pronounce it, and that mispronouncing names in her culture is disrespectful. I wouldn't say her presence was intimidating or hostile, just a stranger leery of another stranger. I asked if she lived in this cave system, and she told me no, that this cave system is only an entrance, that her and beings like her have been living deep in the earth at depths that we can't even imagine. They have been living that way for millions of years in vast cities carved out of rocks. She said they aren't shapeshifters, they only just alter the way that we see them, because their brain structure is different and more active. Psychic abilities amongst her kind are normal. They're usually born with these gifts like telepathy and telekinesis. One thing that stood out the most is when she said that her and her kind were the original occupants of Earth, and that there is no human evolution, we were engineered. Millions of years back, advanced beings showed up to Earth claiming to have discovered Earth. According to her, they sourced Earth for copper because a lot of advanced beings have figured out that copper can produce gravity fields that can manipulate time, space, and gravity. A lot of times they use copper to help their crafts fly. I'm not a science person, so I'm not even going to pretend that I can explain that to you. However, a reptilian race showed up to Earth claiming to have discovered Earth, and they wanted in on the copper. But when it was made clear that they wasn't going to have access to the copper, they became infuriated and a war broke out. They then would go on to drop a bomb onto the Earth. According to her, not only did that bomb nearly destroy Earth, but it destroyed the conditions of Earth so much that her kind had to retreat underground. But that bomb also wiped out the dinosaurs. According to her, millions of years after the fact, another group of advanced beings would show up, known as the Anunnaki. Allegedly, the Anunnaki wanted to mine the Earth of copper, so they needed a labor force. The Anunnaki took the primates that were living on Earth and genetically altered them into humans to make them slaves. Anunnaki, or our creators, often engineered us, experimented, and then destroyed us whenever we asked too many questions or they felt that an uprising was going to happen. Have you ever wondered why almost every group of people have a story about humanity resetting, whether it was through a flood, volcano, or earthquake? That's because our creators were destroying us and starting over. She went on to say that the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids, that the 5th version of humanity did, and that the Egyptians found them. We are the 7th version of humanity, and before our creators left the earth, they suppressed us, suppressed our mental so much so that we have no access to our psychic abilities. She then went on to warn that there are 3 alien races headed toward Earth, one coming for genetics, one coming from hydrogen from the ocean, and the other coming for copper. And while we have that to worry about, she also said that we need to watch out for the Draco reptilians, that they operate from the moon and oftentimes disguised as politicians and higher-ups, that they want a one-world order. She assured me that her race of reptilians avoid humans and they're not aggressive at all. She ended with this: even though we're the 7th version of humanity, we are the first prototype. Our creators instilled aggression, territorial instincts, as well as pack mentality in us, that we would act as weapons in the absence of their presence against the 3 alien races, and the Draco reptilians said, okay. An anonymous researcher who claimed to have spoke with a female reptilian in a cave system. If stories like this interest you, be sure to give me a follow because I enjoy these discussions too.
Story time on how I encountered a reptilian in August of 2023. I wish I was kidding. I really wish I was kidding, but I'm not. And I know that it seems like I am because I never ever I don't make content like this. I don't make story time content. It's just this trap looking hot, boyfriend, friends, and then that's it. But this, I talk up, like I need to talk about it, guys. Okay, so to start the story off, my best friend and I, let me call my best friend B. B and I were going to Kimberley to attend a funeral of the grandfather that passed away, right? And so our form of transport was like a taxi. You know those taxis where they leave town and you have to wait hours on end before you can move anywhere because it takes so long to get filled up, right? So B and I were waiting for hours, and closer to the time where we are departing, this one guy comes in. Now B and I are sitting at the very, very back, like the last row, back, right? And this guy that comes in, the very important character in the story, right? He sits in front of us. Now, there is nothing particularly like special or eye-catching about this guy. Like, he's your most generic looking, average colored guy, right? He was wearing like after work clothes, and you know, it wasn't that thing where he had special eyes or had like special like bodily features where you can be like, oh, you know, like there might have been something. No. But anyway, to go on, so we leave around the evening, like about like 6 to 7, right? So it's like winter time, so it's like already hella dark. And you know how like taxis work, they only switch on the lights when someone is about to go out, but the rest of the time it's like dark. You only see silhouettes of people, right? Cool. So now like closer to getting to our destination, I think we were like about 10 to 15 minutes away from arriving in Kimberley, right? When something told me to like suddenly look at the guy that was in front of me. Like something told me like, like, I don't know, like my intuition just told me, look at him. So I did, right? And when I did, only then did I have a reason now to really stare at him, because all of a sudden guy was on some checking the coast and some shit. Like, now you look suspicious. So I'm a stare. And now I'm like, okay, what is he busy like, you know, being suspicious about? When all, bro, like I'm getting goosebumps again. When I kid you not, bro, his tongue, and I'm not talking world Guinness record, oh, over here, his tongue became so long, and he stuck his tongue out like a snake or a lizard and did that thing, bro. His tongue was like, oh, and he did that like a couple times, like a snake, guys. Like it was natural, like right? He did that, and I freak out, bro. Like I fucking freak out. Like, but I'm not like dramatic about it. I'm just like, you know, taken aback, and I guess, but it's not even loud. But he somehow hears me and turns around and became defensive, right? So I'm freaking out. I'm like, bro, I just caught this guy doing whatever, and he knows now that I know what he is, or what the fuck is going on. So I'm like, okay, no. I try to wake B up. I'm like, yo, B, wake up. And I can see that this guy's now paying attention to what I'm about to say to B, because he knows now that I know. And so now I'm like, I'm feeling watched, I'm feeling listened to, and I'm like, okay, never mind, go back to sleep. We'll talk when we get there. So we get there, right? We take our bags out. We're waiting for B's dad to pick us up, right? And there is quite a distance between me and B and that guy. Like, it's a distance. Like, we got off the same taxi, but when we were waiting, like, there was a distance, like a huge distance. We were here, he was there. And I look at him and I turn to, almost exposed the name. I turn to B and I'm like, B, this is gonna sound crazy. I know, cause like, I never believed in this shit, bro. Like, shit like reptilians and vampires, bro. Like, those stuff seems so fictional to me. And I was like, guys, come on, but yo, right? And so I'm like, bro, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but that guy over there, like, I don't think he's 100% human. Guys, when I tell you this man somehow heard me with his superhuman hearing, he heard me say this to B and literally turns, like he's holding his bag and then turns to like our direction, like his front is facing us, and then like he's staring at me like this the entire time, bruh. And I'm like, B, bro, how far is your dad? Like, dead ass, how far is your dad? And B is like, no, my dad is almost here, da 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 da, don't freak out. And guys, I don't blame B for like underreacting, because like B was going through grief, and a lot was going on in that month. A lot was going on, so we didn't really get to like break down what the fuck happened, because August of that year was absolutely insane for everyone, right? So yeah, this guy's staring, I'm freaking out. Dad arrives, we get in the car, and I think about this like the entire night. I tell my partner at that time what happened, and like, but that was about it. That was it. We move on. The next day, it's the funeral. We're in the like church having the memorial. The memorial finishes. We leave the church. We're leaving to go to the car so that we can go to the cemetery, right? And so everyone is like scattered out and like everywhere. And out of everyone in the crowd, bro, mind you, like, this is not even my family, so I don't know anyone, but one person I freaking recognized. Take a guess. Literally, the guy from the taxi was at the funeral, and he wasn't even moving. He was seriously standing still and looking at me the same way he did the previous night, like this. And I know it sounds made up, but I'm not making this shit up. Like, guys. Nah. So I'm like freaking out. So I turn to B and I'm like, hey, B, that guy over there, do you know him? And here's the thing about B. B doesn't remember anything that went down. Like, B was tired, B's grieved, like, you know, so B was just like, why are you paying attention to this person so much? Like, B didn't like clock what the hell was going on. So I'm just like, B, like, do you know this person? And B was like, no, I don't. No, like, not family, no. And I'm like, bro, did this man thing guy, I don't know, follow me to the funeral because I saw that he's not human? And I caught him in these like most comfortable, vulnerable, like, okay. But anyway, that is the story time. Like, this is like me like cutting it short, but yeah, crazy things are out there, guys. Like, some things are not fictional, some things are not myths, some things are not fake. A lot of the times these stories and movies and shows have some truth in it. A lot of truth in it, because wow.
We're going to talk about something so spooky, and that is Haitian shapeshifter. Those are called loup-garou. I am Haitian, I'm Caribbean. You already know we have been talking about siren and how they're part of the demonic marine kingdom and how they tie together with the fallen angel. I'm going to tell you guys why I think that the people that are loup-garous or that are able to transform into animals or turn somebody else into an animal are possessed by fallen angels, demons. So the lore goes, like the history, I read the book of Enoch as history, not scripture, but the history of the book of Enoch is when the fallen angels came down and procreated with mortal women, they had Nephilim. You can find that in Genesis in the canon Bible. But where it goes more into detail is the book of Enoch, right? And in the book of Enoch, it talks about how the fallen angels taught humans heavenly knowledge we were never supposed to know. And they also did something called miscegenation, where they tried to mix human DNA with animals. And this is why a lot of the other gods of other religion, specifically, we can talk about Egyptian gods, they're all half animal, half human. Why is that? That's because it was actually Nephilim. Like, those gods are fallen angels and Nephilim. They were trying to present themselves to people as gods so that they can go down in history because they are prideful. That was their first sin, is being prideful. They wanted to be like the Most High, so of course they're going to take God's creation, his precious creation, and try to present themselves as gods to them. But like I said, yes, they mixed up animals and humans. So that's why I think that the loup-garous, the shapeshifters, they are actually possessed by fallen angels because of the fallen angels' obsession with mixing humans and animals. And when these people do shapeshift, their goal is to take the souls of babies. Their goal is to steal newborn babies. That's why so many OG Haitians, when they see dogs or cats, or like especially dogs with those human looking eyes, they don't go near them. They're like, oh no, those are old spirits. Like, those are people in the animal. And you look at them like they're crazy, but that stuff really do be happening. It's really crazy. Voodoo is nothing to mess with. I'm telling you right now, like, y'all that love to sit here and dibble and dabble in this dark stuff, it's not and Africans, Haitians, Jamaican, we be trying to tell y'all this isn't some fun little, this is for real. And you can see this across many cultures. Like Haiti's not the only ones that have shapeshifters. A lot of times in the Appalachian Mountains, that's when people will see shapeshifters out there. I think they're called skinwalkers. They basically shapeshift and they often hunt in pack. They will use human voices or a baby crying to lure you into the woods so they can inevitably unalive you. And basically, if you hear them, it's already too late. And also, if you hear them far, they're close to you. And if you hear them near you, they're actually far away from you. It's just so many things, y'all. And this is why I know that it is a demonic presence, because you can see, just like sirens, you can see those same kind of like shapeshifter stories across so many cultures. It's really actually crazy. And I don't understand how people don't believe that there's demonic presences out there. Anyway, y'all, I know that's spooky, but y'all know when I got my big bonnet on, I do a lot of thinking. As always, make sure you like and follow and comment down below what we should get into next.